everybody. It's Chris Shubert from CNSG welcoming you to another edition of The Zoom, where we zoom in on thought leaders in the channel today. Today, I am very humbled to have on our show John Delozier, the global channel chief at 8x8. Welcome, John.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me. What an honor for me to get to sit with you. And, as always, in full HD video, noticing that you still have the absolute best hair in the industry. I say it every time. It's a lot of envy. I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
You know, it's a trademark at this point, and I won't talk about how much product goes in here to keep it. So,
exactly.
So, John, you've been at 8x8 now for a surprisingly short amount of time for everything that you've done. You've been there for about a year and a half. You've literally taken over the globe with your recent title upgrade, shall we say.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your background, what brought you to 8x8, and probably most importantly, what fires you up every day.
Yeah, totally. So, it's interesting because what's old is new. I got in trouble early on when I gave my first delivery around what we do at 8x8 is saying it's basically IP-enabled Centrex. And so people in the cloud world freaked out. They're like, you can't say that. I'm like, why not? I go, in 1980, McCollum ordered phone service. They magically pulled levers and did something and turned it on. We got to pick out phones. And the people from the phone company came out and plugged the phones in the walls, and it all worked. That's not so dissimilar to what we do today, right? Just in general from a cloud perspective. But here's what happened. I started out in 1994 as a senior in college, and I started a company that eventually, over the next 16 years, became the go-to partner from an Avaya contact center perspective. It was called ACT. So we were the company that invented the DevConnect program there and actually implemented all of those really difficult contact centers, and eventually it led to the IP-enabled, satellite offices, et cetera, that we know that's commonplace today. And so I grew up in that apps world. I grew up in what we would today call UCaaS, CCaaS, those kinds of things. And along the way, we sold that company to Avaya's largest VAR at the time. Then we sold that to Aero Electronics in 2010. And then the path kind of diverted for me, and I went into the network world. My tenure at CenturyLink, and I just always missed this part of the business. I missed the applications. I missed really that UCaaS, CCaaS feel. And so we acquired Level 3 at CenturyLink, brought on some great people, and I decided that it was probably time for me to move on after about a year. And so for me, it was going to be security or cloud based on the TAM, based on the opportunity. And, 8x8 came calling, and it looked like a perfect fit based on the single platform, based on 8x8's ascension, up the ranks, in the Gartner Magic Quadrant, all those kinds of things. So for me, it was a pretty easy choice, and it's very exciting to be back in that space. I love the applications, and I really enjoy the technology. That's why I came here.
Well, speaking of that space, I mean, this might be a newsflash, John, but you do have some competition out there, and a lot of it.
I've heard that. Yeah.
In fact, wait a minute, hold on a second. I just got a supplier request from the 3700th unified communication provider that wants to join CNSG.
Exactly.
But all joking aside, 8x8 has established itself. I always kind of refer to you partially based on your colors, but kind of the Coca-Cola of the UCaaS space. It's you're a global company. You've got the market share. You definitely got the size and the scale. And of course, everyone knows, because you've done a great job with your marketing, that 8x8 owns it all. You own the complete technology stack without necessarily having to piecemeal different things that most UCaaS providers a lot of times have to do. But, with taking all those known selling points out of the game, what do you feel is the special stuff around, or the special sauce, if you will, around 8x8 today? What do you guys do differently than your competitors, and where do you want to be seen in the marketplace?
Yeah, or the special formula along the
special formula. There you go.
Coca-Cola route. First of all, you're getting all those requests on your phone because CNSG is a terrific company. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on with you. I say that to everybody. You know how we feel about you guys. But so it's pretty simple, right? The difference, the secret formula at 8x8 is truly that one platform play. It's a big deal. And so when you mentioned earlier, you're joking about some of the UCaaS providers out there, et cetera, and there are. But here's an interesting fact, and I'm going to tie the platform back into it. Understand today, what is the TAM, Chris? We say 50 billion, 70 billion, 100 billion. It's a lot of B's, right? Whatever it is. If you add it up, 8 by 8, and every one of our competitors today, we make up 11% of a $60 billion TAM. I mean, it's crazy, the opportunity right now. And so you'll see as the world continues to adopt cloud, and as those companies continue to grow and creep up on that TAM, you'll see a lot of consolidation. And that's the beauty of the one platform at 8 by 8. See, 5 or 6 years ago when this concept came out, and a bunch of our competitors very effectively raced to partner up with contact center providers and UCaaS providers, and put these partnerships together, we went back in the labs and said, you know what? We're going to build a cloud platform built for purpose, one platform. And so we acquired some companies. We did all the magic. 227 patents later, about a year and a half ago, shockingly, 2 years ago, we came out and said, okay, exactly. Okay, the platform's ready. Let's go to market. How are we going to do it? And we're going to do it with the channel. And so what's happened over that last year and a half, 2 years, is you've seen exactly what I just told you, some consolidation, seen a few bankruptcies, sadly, and you've also seen these partnerships start to dissipate because divorces are impending, right? And so the contact center providers want to have their own UCaaS platform, and the meeting collaboration people want to have their own UCaaS platform, and the UCaaS platform people want to have those things themselves as well. And so we already have that. So it's a really important thing as you move forward, and you look at that for many reasons technically, and I think a lot of reasons with regards to our master agents like CNSG and the partners that come to you for these solutions, because it's a really tight way to build a business for the future and then make a whole lot of money doing it.
Let's talk a little bit about that channel focus. You've obviously come from that background. You mentioned it several times in the interview so far. In full disclosure to the CNSG community, up until very recently, CNSG did not have a strong relationship with 8 by 8. This really kind of came together after a couple of key victories in early 2019 that led us to really look at a stronger, larger agreement with 8 by 8. And a lot of that came from the fact that in the past, 8 by 8 didn't always have, the best, most channel-friendly reputation. John, you instituted the lovely hashtag of 8 by 8 partner love. What does that mean, and why was it so important for you to grow the channel like you have?
Yeah. So a couple things there. A lot of questions in that. First thing is you got to remember from my background, I have owned a services company. I've worked for a couple manufacturers. I've worked in distribution. This is all through acquisition. I've worked as a partner, and of course service the partners, and I manage at Arrow 1,000-person direct sales team, right? So I understand uniquely, I think, all of those aspects. I've been very blessed to be part of these different things over my life. And it's always been super obvious to me in every one of those positions that the channel is the key. Why would you, in the simplest of stories, want to go sit on a dock and fish all day? Although that sounds pretty good. But sit on a dock and fish all day for every fish you can catch yourself, when I could teach 100 people to fish for me, right? To me, it's just such an obvious route to market, especially in our business. And so 8 by 8 traditionally has been an engineering firm, right? Like I told you, we built this award-winning, partner-recognized, crazy great single platform for cloud. But what we didn't truly recognize was how to get it out there. How do we take that to market? There were some stops and some starts with the partner program. I think it's all about the people. When I got the opportunity to come to 8 by 8, the very, very first thing I did was walk into my boss's office, Vic Verma, our CEO, who's the best ever, right? And said, Vic, I want you to come on the road with me. I want you to meet the CNSGs. I want you to sit with the partners. Come to channel partners. Let's see how that works. Let's watch the folks from the stage and see the demos and be part of it. Once I did,
Whoa! You took him to Vegas Channel
I
Partners,
did.
and he's still with us.
I did. I think that
Wow.
might be
Okay.
the single reason. There are pictures, by the way, that have not leaked out yet. But I think that may be the single reason he got it so quickly. He's obviously a brilliant man. He has 2 more degrees than I'll ever have, right? But that being said, he came back and said, "Are you kidding me? This is incredible. Like, this is okay. I get this. This is the channel." And because I have that executive sponsorship, truly, and at his level, at our board level, etc., they understand it. They opened the kimono and said, "Go do your thing. You're the relationship guy. Your team is so tenured." And, the Bobby Halls, the Chandler Legarettas, the Lori Potts, the Tina Smiths, my team in general, go do your thing. And they unleashed us, Chris. That's the key. And so I felt like, we were nowhere as a channel at 8x8. And I feel like today we're somewhere. And tomorrow I want to be preferred. That is my goal. There's no exclusivity in this business. Got that. But I want to be preferred. When the door shuts and you guys get to make the decision on provider, I want it to always be 8x8 first. That's what we're working for. And that's what we're working towards.
And you guys are making great progress in that. One of the things that we have seen in my short tenure at CNSG, at the half-year mark as opposed to the year-and-a-half mark, is the team at 8x8. They are 100% committed to the partner success. And one of the things that for our CNSG audience here to understand is this is a team that has resources in the field, has partner development managers, has a national channel manager structure, but it's generally all about protecting the partner. We're not getting that situation of, you can't talk to this account, or, hey, I'm going to cut your price and not tell you about it. These are the things that happen to partners and drive them absolutely crazy. And these are the things that we don't see with 8x8. 8x8 has a quality product. It has great compensation, and it works. But if you don't have that fourth crucial element, that good, strong team, that relationship, it all falls apart. And we definitely salute 8x8 for everything that you guys have done in the last year and a half, wink, wink, as well as, where you're going in the future. And we're excited to take that journey with you.
Yeah, if I could just interject one quick thing on that. Thank you, by the way, so kind. And it's so true. And I would just tie that off with, you also have to have the trust. And so remember, as a partner first company, there are no conversations with your customers that don't involve you, right? There are no backdoor deals. There's no channel team and then direct team. We don't have channel conflict here because our sales team in general, we have closers, we have demand gen producers, and we have everything in between. And so it's not perfect. There's issues that come up and you got to work through them and all that stuff. But truly, I think that's the big difference maker. You know me, and CNSG knows 8x8. And if there is an issue, we pick up the phone and say, "Hey, JD, did you know this?" Or, "Hey, Bobby, I need this." Or, "Lori, could you?" And it happens. So again, not utopia, not perfect. But when you have that trust and that red thread, when you know the two organizations, the sky's the limit. So thank you for saying that.
So let's turn a little bit to the customer application. I'd like to hear from you a little bit on what you consider to be the sweet spot for 8x8 today, and also tell us a story about a customer that you guys have impacted. Always a favorite part on the Zoom.
No, definitely. So everything from, the story, right? When at 8x8, one single platform, voice, video, data, contact center, now CPaaS with our Wavestyle acquisition, which allows partners to truly, customize code for customers and enhance that relationship as they move forward with the customer and the customer journey. But one of the stories that I love the most is this. One of the unique things about owning your own platform and really inventing this thing built for the cloud. It's called X Series, by the way, as you know, and it's brilliant. We're on it right now, having a conversation. Looks like I'm sitting next to you. Is that we can measure everything. So whether it's a reception desk phone or it's an omni-channel contact center agent, anything and everything in between, we can see. We can measure it, we can record it, and we can get better from it. And so I always tell the story of one of our customers that, they had, 40 locations throughout the world, and they wanted a simple UCaaS solution, but they also had a very important 50-seat contact center inbound platform where they answered support calls all day. And these 800 numbers that came in to this contact center are critical for their business. Like if these customers don't renew with them, if they get disgruntled, et cetera, it costs this company lots of business. And obviously, uptime is critical. And so that contact center, outside of the other 10,000 seats, that little contact center was super duper important. And so what was happening in their old scenario was they were publishing these numbers and publishing this contact for these very highly trained contact center agents, and customers were ignoring it and just calling the receptionist. And the receptionist was transferring them into the contact center. And so that may sound like, JD, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is it throws off all analytics. It throws off all of the support metrics. You don't know when to staff, when not to staff. It also does not record now the conversations and the data. You can't share documents, right? Like our product can do right now with you and I. And you certainly can't record it. I think I said that earlier. And so it threw everything off. With 8x8's X platform, we were able to go in and put this in place. And now we were able to stop that from happening because we could actually report on an hourly and daily basis on which calls were coming into that receptionist and being transferred into the contact center and shouldn't be. So they actually did an outbound campaign to their customer base and actually put the right kind of firewall in place with the receptionist to stop that from happening. Efficiency went through the roof. Very simple example, right? Very simple example, but truly that's the beauty of the platform. It's one platform, X Series, whether it's receptionist or omni-channel contact center agent, and we measure everything in between. So it's a beautiful thing.
Definitely is, and we've got a ton of partners that have been taking advantage of it in the last few months. So now, before we kind of wrap up here, it's time to kind of look at you as one of our platinum market leaders, and John, as you as someone that has been in the channel for a little bit. You've seen the evolution. We've already talked about the fact that in some ways everything is old is new again. With Centrix becoming hosted PBX, becoming UC, becoming CCaaS, all that fun.
Say that out loud, I'll get in trouble.
Well, as someone that has seen the past, tell us about the future. Look down on the line. We talked a lot about the application driving things. We have a lot of customers now that don't have desk phones anymore. What's the future hold for 8x8 and the overall UCaaS industry?
Yeah, and I'll tie the partners in with that if I could, because
absolutely
right now there's a lot of mystery with customers. Remember, you've heard me say this yourself. Actually, you commented on this to me. I've said from the stage many times, the days are over of the old Enterprise Connect show, which at one point was the Avaya Cisco show, right? Kind of like the IBM genre where customers sent their CIO and said, Mr. CIO, take your shopping cart, pull things off the shelf, and we'll implement that and push it on our customers, right? Those days are over now because the customer is saying, no, you don't decide. You don't decide how I communicate with you, and you don't decide how I do business. I decide, and here are my needs. And that's mysterious, right, for customers because there's a lot of decision points there. I always say where there's mystery, there's margin. And that's where our partners can demystify. And that is where our partners can meet the customer and bring 8x8 in with CNSG, meet the customer and demystify it for them. And then there's money in that. So I think that the future is for sure in the channel. I believe that our partners will continue to get wiser around things UCaaS, things CCaaS, et cetera. We're going to make sure of it, through our education, our certification programs, our award-winning Elevate program that CNSG is a major master in. And I think as we educate them and this industry continues to grow, that cloud will continue to be adopted as it is. We're not even close to the top of that Jeffrey Moore bell curve. And I think, again, where there's mystery, there's margin. Let's do it together. The right companies, the right manufacturers like 8x8 will continue to embrace the partner community And as we embrace that partner community, we'll meet customers where they are, and we'll demystify this thing for them. So it sounds like utopia, as we move forward, and it's definitely not all Pollyanna-ish, but it definitely is an opportunity that you and I have to take advantage of. And that window is like this right now. We're right smack dab in the middle of it. So I'm excited.
And when we're all done, we can go fishing again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm taking out of all this.
Exactly.
Well, John, this has been a super fun edition of the Zoom. I thank you so much for being the guest of honor today. For our CNSG and our new AppSmart family members that are listening in here today, what's the best way to engage with 8x8?
Yeah, best way, obviously CNSG holds a tremendous family of sub-agent and partners that are part of your community. We love them very much. We both know that's where the business gets done. And so I know CNSG has a staff of folks that all report up for the most part under you, the king of channels.
Yeah, don't tell Randy that, but yes.
Tell him, and the AppSmart family. So obviously engaging with your CNSG channel account managers and those folks that are put in place to help guide you. On our side, we do have across the country a very, very strong group of channel account managers and national account managers. Our national account manager for CNSG is Lori Potts, as you're well aware. The amazing.
Absolutely one of the best.
Amazing Lori Potts.
Absolutely one of the
best. We have
best.
channel account managers in each geography, and so we're real easy to find, Chris. I mean, all you got to do is jump on LinkedIn at any time during any day. You can jump on Twitter. You can always email me at john.delozier@8x8.com. I'm also on Twitter. Very easy to find. Same last name, and then on LinkedIn. So we'll do whatever we can to help you guys out.
Brave man there, because I know all your competitors just signed you up for all kinds of spam accounts.
Yeah,
I know that just happened, right?
They do that anyway. So it's a sign of love.
8x8 partner love.
That's right.
There we go.
See?
There you go. Well, thank you so much, John. We appreciate you being on the Zoom today. And for all of our audience listening at home, we will see you next time on the Zoom. Thanks, John.
Thank you, Chris. Have a great day.